whatever they have to say. And that can bring prosperity in our lives. Thank you for being with us. And the stage is yours.
Who believes that he is the best host? He always does a phenomenal work, and thank you very much, Mohammed, for hosting us. And guys, we are basically very humble and privileged that we are here today. First of all, thank you to the Melbourne leadership who has given us a chance to present ourselves, and we will be improving. As you know, that we are learning process. So before I move further, do you want to say anything? I'll pass to this again. Before I'll move further again, I would thanks to all the volunteers again and all the people. And this is the basically teamwork. And without you guys, it will not. This evening will not be complete. So we thanks you all. So I'll move further. Today's our subject is basically MG1. So as you know that we all are learning, and before doing any implementation, please check with your client because we just bringing our homework in front of you. So I'll passing it to the Suman.
Thank you. Yeah, hey guys, I'm Suman. Am I too loud? Or?
You're fine. I'll adjust it.
I'm fine. Okay. So, I'm Suman again. And me and Mani, we are launching the business by Dr. Nirmesh and Namisha Jain from Sydney. They are Sapphire, IBOs going Emerald. And we want to say a big thanks to Team One Global to giving us the opportunity that we got today to on the stage of the Team One Global. And as Mani already mentioned, that we want to say special thanks to the Team One Global Melbourne leadership, because you guys you did lay the foundation. That's now we and a lot of new partners, they can leverage it. You know, so give a big round of applause to the guys. As we mentioned that we started this business opportunity a few short years back, and that time when we started there was no process. So we started with the 4 basics, and whatever we learned, that time we implement, and we put hard work and got the results. But we are never been that excited as we are excited now with the process. Because what process can give it to us, we wasn't getting through that 4 basics. We got enough. It's not that we haven't got anything, but we are really loving the process. So the new partners, maybe they're thinking about that. What are the 4 basics? Can I have some marker? So I just start through the 4 basics, that what were the 4 basics. I'm just going to put the new terminology on the 4 basics, that what we are using in the process. So what was that according to the new terminology? So we're doing the DTM. And then that DTM, it's leading to the presentation. And then going to the follow-up. And we do launch. So what was happening here? When we are doing these 4 basics, the ball was in which hands? Can anybody tell me? Give me the idea? Candidate's hand. So the control was in the hands of the candidate, not in the hands of us as the business owner. And when we did the DTM, we give them after the DTM or whatever the list building and calling, and after that when it was used to come to the presentation, we used to give them the whole idea that what we got in our hands. Doesn't matter they are hungry or they're not hungry, they are looking or they're not looking, do they have a mindset or they don't have a mindset? We just try to convince them.
Yeah.
And I used to hate it. We did it because we was looking for the outcomes. I really used to hate it. And I used to ask questions from My mentors, personally, I'm not saying that I'm too smart, but I used to have a lot of questions in my mind, and I used to poke money that why cannot we do something about it, that when you do this all about, and then when candidate comes, so when you launch somebody, after that, they have a millions of excuses that why they cannot come to the open meeting, why they cannot come to the PACE meeting, why they have to pay $6 here, why they have to pay $2, and where they're going to put their kids, you know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the big conferences, we used to convince them that we will do, like, you know, if when we moved in Melbourne, if we're taking somebody, we have a mentor's house there, we will take you there. Don't worry about your residence, you know, don't worry. And when somebody is coming from Sydney, we are just, okay, we will provide you everything. We will do everything for you. So now that's what with the process, that's where we are so happy and blessed that okay, the process came and we learned. But it's just a disclaimer that's why I'm sharing this, that we are also learning the process. We are not perfect. We are in the transitioning mode. Still sometimes our mindset, because we spent few short years in these four basics, still our mind is just taking us back to, because we used to get the quick results. I remember one day Mani, he drove from Sydney to Melbourne and he signed 22 IVs in a day. Wow. But we don't know where they are. that day, even the business center asked Mani, like, because he took them all to the business center. That time it used to be in COVID, and like, you know, okay, how many forms, Mani? How many kits we have to give it to you? Like, what's there? Because straight away 22 IPOs. So, but that was because of just this process. We did the presentation and you haven't checked the mindset. Yeah. So now when it comes to the process, so we need to be, as I mentioned that we are learning the process. So anything, if you think about like, okay, we need to change, please check with your mentor and coaches to do that before you do it. So, okay, coming back to the point of, so why process? Anybody want to say anything? Like, why are we doing the process? Why process?
We can filter the quality of the candidates.
Yeah.
Have a control.
Have a control. We can filter the quality. Because before what we was doing, as I gave the example of 22 IVs, there was quantity, but no quality.
Yeah.
So now we are not looking for the quantity, we are looking for the quality. Yeah. We are looking for the lookers who are looking. We are not looking for the non-lookers because we don't need them. We are looking for who are hungry. We are not looking, we don't want to overfeed anybody. Okay? So now when it comes to the process, do we need to prepare ourselves or just we need to prepare the candidates? So we need to prepare ourselves first, that why we doing what we doing. Because if we are just doing the process as, okay, now the process came, or especially for the new partners, because new partners are, they're just learning the process. So it's not, okay, you just launch in the business and because you just saw the process, so it is a framework. Okay, so we have to do first DTM, MG1 and then MG2, and you know, doesn't matter the person is getting connected or not connected, we have to give them book and we have to take them through all of the steps. It's not. If you do it like that, then it is going back to here. Then we are doing the same thing. And especially some of the new partners, you qualify the process and then you get launched, because we are in hurry. We saw a lot of people here who have already qualified for the trips or they're earning money, and then we want to do the same thing, but we want to do in a hurry. So then what we try to do, we shortcut the process. Please don't do that if you are doing it. And some of the new partners, what they do, that's what we used to do. Oh, I made a list, and this is my friend. I know him because he's my friend from a long time, you know. I know whatever I'm going to tell him, he's going to do it. Or my brother or my sister or my sister-in-law, because I am doing it, so they are going to do it. It doesn't work that way. I have 4 cousins here. One of them is a doctor, she's a millionaire. She has a house everywhere, wherever is a beach in the Australia. I'm not lying. They are eye specialists. But what they don't know anything about the asset-based income. They are rich as much as they're earning a lot, but now because they are eye specialists, they have one fear in their mind, because they both are 40 plus. Now, when eye surgeons, they do the surgery, they do with the hands. So now, as they're growing old, the fear is coming in their mind that they cannot do the eye surgery after a few years. So, and we share this opportunity, but they have a different mindset. Doesn't matter. If they're not connecting with us, they are still my cousins. So please don't force your brother and sisters and your best friends and don't tell your mentor and coaches that no, they are going to do it. And because when you are trying to shortcut the process, you are passing the wrong messages. Okay? So coming back to the point of MG1, so we need to be clear. So here it should make it clear that what we're doing or why we're doing it. We are not going to meet anybody after the DTM, okay, if it comes to the first, do you think DTM plays an important role in the process?
Yes.
It is. Because if there is a strong DTM, it can link to a great MG1. But if your DTM is poor, your candidate may be going to ask a question in the first stage that what is all about it. Even after the good MG1, maybe in the mind of the candidate, there is all going to be like what is in your hands, because they don't know. No, they don't know what we are checking. They don't know what we are trying to qualify. In their mind, it's most of it that what is in our hands. But if we did the right DTM, it can link to the best MG1. So when what me and Mani we learned, we did a lot of shortcuts when process came, because we used to sign a lot of people every week, every month, and they are going away out as well. They're coming and going. So when we started the process, we started in first MG1, we thought, okay, just tell them everything, what you have to spend, how much you have to invest, and then we never check the mindset. And then slowly and gradually we started learning from all of the Melbourne leadership and the Team 1 global leadership that what we need to do, where we need to do the changes. We're still on the way to do a lot of changes in. Now what we are doing, we're going through, when we're starting the MG1, our focus is on the framework and mindset. Before, there was a framework. When there is a framework, it's like you're doing it a format, no emotions in that framework. And if there is only a mindset, you just get lost after doing few things, because there is no framework and it's not teachable, it's not duplicable. That's what we were doing before, and now we are in transitioning mode to learn more about it, that how can we make more people, more partners to teachable and to duplicate that what we are doing, because that's where we're looking for the quality. And we are really very excited for our upcoming future and for our upcoming team, because whatever new partners we are launching after the filtration process, now they are already doing their own MG1s even within a 30 days. Because that's where the quality is coming, not the quantity. Okay. So what is the another main goal of the process, as I mentioned before, is to identify the person is that the person or the candidate who we are taking through the process, are they going to be the person who are teachable, who we can be motivated, and we can guide them, we can spend our time, we can invest our time on them, that they are going to be learn and they are hungry for what we have in our hands. That's where we can identify from this process. Now when we do the MG1, we focus few things on us first, that what is our thought process? Are we thinking on the same way, that we are just going to meet somebody and we're going to give them a book and we not have any clear vision? No, we just think about what is our thought process that time. That is it. We are thinking, okay, we are going for another conversation. We will see like how it goes, and obviously we are positive. We are not negative about anything, but we are excited. When we sharing our story with anybody, there is an excitement on our face, in our eyes, and in our body language, because people can see. People try to observe you more than what you say. Is it? Am I making any sense?
Yes.
So another thing, are we well groomed? Are we showing or are we representing that we have $1 billion? We are representing $1 billion company, or we just going like, okay, that's another MG1, don't worry, like maybe we'll see what happens. So that's where we need to focus on ourselves first, that are we our best? Because we are not in the competition with anybody, we are in the competition with ourselves. So first we change ourselves, and then we can do, we can qualify other people. Now when it comes to check the mindset of the candidate, that's here again comes like, it depends on the DTM, that how we prepared, as I mentioned before, that how we prepared the candidate and how we asking the question, because it is very, very clear that most of the time in the mind of the candidate is it all about what. Doesn't matter how many times we tell them, like we try to make them clear when we book the MG1, Money or me, we always tell them very clear that we are just meeting to get to know each other, and we are not going to talk about anything how and what. We just tell them in a nice way, and when we start the MG1, Money always, sometimes he bring the smile on the person, on the candidate, and tell them, hey man, or if it's a couple, that we want to know about you and you want to know about us today, and the whole focus is about that, but not, so you can ask me any question in the world, except what and how. I feel like sometimes, still I feel like how I'm gonna tell them this, but he just tell them so beautiful, like, okay. and people just smile, okay, and they feel like, okay, oh, that's what I want to ask. So, and when we sharing our story with the candidate, obviously, as I mentioned, we need to be excited, we need to be, just showing what, we're looking for the common grounds. That what are the common grounds in between us and candidate. It can be age, it can be if they are from student background, it can be they are from India, they are from, their parents, their kids are going to be in the same schools or different things. But if your antenna is standing like, okay, you're looking for, okay, I'm going to find something common ground, you will find out the common ground. Now, because with us, when there is a student or if somebody is from India, it's very easy. We can get connected with them. Now, who leads the conversation? Is it candidate leads the conversation or we lead the conversation? We lead the conversations. So when we started this opportunity, I didn't know about, even I did a practice as a criminal lawyer, but I didn't know how to lead the conversation, because when I'm talking to strangers, because in my mind, I was always thinking like, I'm talking about this business. So first I have to forget about that it is not all, I'm not about the business, I'm making them as a friend. And they don't know about it because they're coming up to find out what we have. So then I learn from my mentors that how we can lead the conversation. I'll just give you an example. The first time when my mentor Namisha Yan, she took me out just to show like how we can connect with the new people, how can we do the DTM. So there was an Indian grocery shop. The shop has 2 doors, like you enter from this door and you can go out from the other side. So as we got into the shop, she started talking to an Indian lady, and I thought now she's gonna ask me to jump in the talk. I just got out from that. I can visualize that because that's what I did. And then she was looking for me where I am. So the next time when she took me for there's a Westfield in Parramatta, we just went out for shopping, and she saw the opportunity, and in a shoe shop she started talking to a lady, and I had to stand with her because there was no another door. So I found like how she, and the another lady, she was just like this. Whatever you asking, she is giving the answers and not asking the questions. Then I observe, and then I ask later on the questions from Navisha that how you do it. She said, you have to put the words in their mouth, in our language. She said like, you need to be, if they're saying, okay, you are telling I'm Navisha, what's your name? You giving them the answers from the question maybe they are not asking. So then people are getting open and they will ask you more questions and they will tell you about themselves. So the same thing, the same rule we use in our MG1 as well, that because our main goal is to get to know about the person or get to know about the candidate, that what they are doing, who they are, what is their background, because before we just used to ask that, okay, what is your background, and to find out that are they from a business background or are they from just a job background, to just get to know about their mentality or their attitude or their mindset. But we didn't know about how to lead the whole conversation to understand that how they leverage their time, how they leverage their unproductive time. Because later on, are they going to be how they can prioritize their time? If they don't know how, if we are not finding now that how they use their whole time and how much value they give it to the family, how important the family with it. We can find about these questions like how they spend their evenings with their family or where they want to spend their time, about that. So it's very important to learn to lead the conversation. That's what we found, that's where we can find more about the candidate. And another thing is, are we listening to the candidate? Are we observing the candidate? Or we just like, that's what I used to do, to worry about what is going to be my next question in starting. So are we just worrying about the framework? Okay, that this is the question, that's what I'm going to ask. Because we are not doing just filling the blanks. We are dealing with the human beings and we want to learn about them. There is a genuine feeling that that's what we want to know about it. And that's where listening is very important and presence of mind is really, really important. I give you an example, like once me and Mani, we were sitting with one of our mentors, Sanjeev Sahai, and there was one prospect that belonged to us. This gentleman is from Kenya, and he came from Kenya to Melbourne, and then he was in army, and he did this few things. And Sanjeev was listening to him, and then when he finished his story, this gentleman, and Sanjeev told him, so you are 42 years now, Sanjeev told him his age. And I was wondering how you know his age? He said, because he started telling his story that how old he was when he moved from Kenya and then what he did, blah, blah, blah. And then, so it was how, he said, it's about listening. I was listening him. It's not that I want to tell him like, you are that old or that young, but it is about the presence of mind. And we never think about it. Do you want to add something?
No, you keep going.
I just want to
Why?
can hear me? So on presence of mind, I'll share a joke with you. Is that all right? Yeah. So there is a shop. The shop sells the butter, right? And that shops only sell the butter of a packet of butter of 1 kg. All right, only 1 kg. All right. The customer comes and there is a salesman, and the customer says that I want 2 half kg of butter. He said, sorry sir, we don't sell the half kg, we only give the 1 kilo. He said, no, I just need the half kg. He said again, no, talk to your manager who is the owner of the shop, go and talk to them. So he basically, the salesman, the owner is working just nearby, so he goes to there and he talked to the owner that there is a stupid guy who wants to a half kg butter. And the guy is standing now in behind. Right? And then he said, and this gentleman, the rest of half of the butter, this gentleman need. So he basically converted the conversation. So first he said there is a stupid person who wants the half kg butter, and then he said this gentleman needs the rest half. So the presence of mind presence of mind is very necessary. I'm not saying that you do anything wrong, but the thing is, you always try to listen, observe the person what he's saying. And most of the time we are in a hurry, or sometimes we book too many events, so we don't give time, and we please the students with the professionals with the students. So don't do that mistake. Every person is important because it's all about the mindset.
And I think ladies play, sorry, I'm not offending the guys, but the ladies play a very important role in listening, because we have, our brain is like that way that we can, when we are doing one task, we can focus on other tasks as well. But the men, they mostly focus on the one task. And that's what...
They are very good at it.
So ladies can read, because we can observe more, and we can on the presence of mind and on the listening.
Don't tell her wrong.
Thank you. So I think I have covered all the conversation, and then okay, and also when we're doing talking, we can find about their commitments, like what are their commitments. And now the next question we ask, it's not that this is the framework. It depends how the conversation goes. I'm just giving the examples like how we do. So the next question we ask like about that, why you meeting us, or what is the purpose of or what they're looking. So now in starting we used to ask like, okay, so why were you meeting us? Sometimes people can say, because you have invited me. It's happened to one of our guys. Samira asked somebody like, why are you meeting me? And they say, okay, because you have invited me. So that is the way, like, to find out in the conversation that, okay, what is the purpose of this meeting, that what you are looking for, after figuring out their story and sharing our story. Now, when it comes to the life assessment, a lot of people are confused there, because a lot of people, they don't want to tell, like, and even they don't know what is the reality. I was asking one of the student that she don't have a job, and she has a lot of debt. She has to pay the loan, and when she came to, I was doing the MG1 with her, and I explained her what is the life assessment, that I was edifying my mentors and coaches that, what is their life, and how they are financially free, and what is their perfect 10. And I asked her, what is your perfect 10? And she was saying it's around 8. I was thinking, so really? 20-year-old girl, but they don't have sometimes idea about it. So that's where we need to, we learn that how we can explain them more.
Don't worry about
Am I taking time?
No, they just wanted directions to what you're saying.
Okay guys, let's come to the patience. The patience is very, very important. It plays a really really, really crucial role, because especially for all of us who are from a few years in the business, and also it's important for the new partners, because when we want to look the patience of the candidate, but then how about our patience? Do we have enough patience, or we are just in the hurry? Okay, come on, keep going, like, you know, one step, next step, next step. When we wanna launch the candidate. No, it doesn't work like that way. So it's really important about the, you know, are we ready to wait? Are we ready to wait for a few weeks? You know. Now it comes to the prioritization. So any question we ask, we always use the third approach, that how our mentors and coaches, when we were going through the selection process, that how they ask us what kind of like example they give it to us. You know, we share a little story with that, and then we ask the question, because it's not an interview process. We are just doing a general conversation. So we don't ask, hey, how you do the prioritization. We always explain that when we was going through the selection process, our mentor asked, you know, okay, so you are doing job, you are doing this, and then how you can get a time to come to the meetings, and how you can do what you want to do about it. We always explain, and then we are looking forward for the answers, and that's where we can judge or observe and find out, is it this person have a talent that they can prioritize the time? You know? When it comes to, and another thing, we also ask the question about, are they willing to learn and unlearn things? Because this is really important. That's where a lot of people, they get stuck. When when we used to do the 4 basic, you launch a new person and they come to the business and they give you the thousands of ideas that how can we build the business. What are the new things that we should doing, and what are the things we are doing bad. Still, it's after you launch any candidate, if they're coming with the new ideas, sometimes they're great, but that's where we talk to them before, that are they willing to unlearn the things. You know, there's a lot of things that they try to learn from the internet and from the other way, that are they ready to give up those things. And also, when we just going back to the prioritization, that's where we ask, if they are, you know, they have their own interest, or their few commitments, are they ready to give something to get something, or they just want to, as money to mentioned before, that okay, I'm going to spend a couple of hours on Facebook, I'm going to watch telly, I'm going to do this, and then I want to do this business. It doesn't work. That's where we can address the red flag or green flag, whatever is, we see that time, that yellow flag. So there's a last question, or it depends, is it a last or is it a first? Depends on what is the attitude of the candidate. Are they having a lot of questions about network business? That's what we ask them, that how about have you have experience on a small scale network businesses? And doesn't matter they ask us or they don't ask us, or they have experience or they don't have experience, we try to address that. We try to give them an idea that what is a small scale network, and then we ask them question like that what they have learned, or what they have observed, or what is their observation, or what they want from whole conversation, kind of what they have learned. So then it depends that are they getting the book, are they qualifying the book, or they're not qualifying the book. Before we used to even send the book before, even they come into the business for the MG1, and then in the MG1 we give them a whole, we started explaining them whole, then we move back to the 4 slides that we're going to show them ESBI, because we was wanted to give them as much as information, but we have never think about that, are they able to digest that information or not? If they, so that is what the purpose of, that's where we love, that's the process, and that's where we are very excited for the process. You want to add something?
Yes. I will talk about the analyzing. So sometimes when we go in the mood of, or in a form of analyzing people, and we start analyzing them. So try to connect them
and find out a common ground where you can connect with them. And one another thing is attitude versus posture. It's been talked about so many times. So make sure that you don't disqualify people just to satisfy your ego. So make sure you just talk to them and on a level where you can connect. So learn the process, and you must complete your homework before you leave the home. So you just don't go and without preparing anything and just start talking to the people. So that's what I think.
One thing I just want to add, like, don't prejudge anybody. We did this mistake. One day, me and Mani, we was doing, we did, I think, 6 MG1s, and then the last MG1 was with a student, and we thought, okay, he's a student. We take him so lightly, and we got comfortable so very easily, very quickly, and then later on, it doesn't work for us, and we analyze. We always analyze ourselves. We try to observe, like, where we did, what we did wrong, and if this situation comes again, that what we can do changes, what the new things we can bring it in. So, and don't prejudge anybody, because they sometimes, even on the dressing, in the MG1, they don't have an idea, like, what they are going to see, who they are going to meet, so they don't dress up. Maybe they dress up beautifully, or maybe they're not. Once, it's happened a few weeks back, so one guy came here, so we had a contact with him from social media, so we didn't know, like, who he is exactly. And after the video, when he came here for MG1, so he was just like a very normal dress, and I feel like, okay, yeah. Like, my first thought was wrong, and later on when I start talking to him, he was a big project manager in IT, and his, I think, what's going on and on, like what he did, what he wants to do, it was a long way, and then I realized that my thought process in the starting wasn't right. So I just prejudge that person. I should not do that. So that's where, that's what I just want to add. And,
Yeah, you're done?
yeah, that's what from our side. And we're done. And back to the host.
Mohammed.
What an awesome evening I had. What about you guys? I'm pumped up. Thank you. What can we say about you? Next time you're coming here, we're going to bring more candidates. 87 versus 15. So 5 ideas brought 1 candidates. We can double it, triple it, right? And we're going to do it for you. You did a great job. Thank you. Give them a big round of applause. And next week, in this very own place, we've got Manish and Daksha coming up. Big up for you. We're going to make it happen big time. And the volunteers for tonight, you did a great job, but some volunteers I would like to say, the AV team came at 6:45 today, so they cannot go home unless everything is set up, taken off and stuff. So give them some hands and take all your hands. We are in it together. So we can go home safe and sound. We're going to meet again in the 2nd of June, which is just this Saturday, man. I'm excited. How about you guys? Wow. And we're going to bring more and more power in this room to fill the whole place up. We can do it?
Yes.
Fantastic. Anything else to, any other notice, Nick? That we need? Yeah, it's all good. Done. Thank you guys.